Yo, people, what is good? Welcome back to my channel. It's Tobs here, back with another review, back with another upload. Yes, it's an upload this time. It's not a stream. I've done this because, as you would have gathered, I'm in holiday mode, right? So man can't stream. Man can't stream. So I got to do the upload, but let's not waste any time there. I'm here to talk about Spurs thrashing Burnley 5-2 at the Turf Moor. Why did I struggle with that? At Turf Moor. Before I get into it, folks, though, please make sure you smash the like button if you haven't smashed the like button as well. Please make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Please make sure your post notifications are turned on. And if you like what I have to say, or if you don't like what I have to say, please share the thing regardless, and make sure you're following me across all socials. We're going to be talking starting 11s, first half, second half, game changers, food for thought going forward. Now, I spoke to you guys in my last stream about the transfer window and what I thought of the end of the transfer window, right? But this is nothing to do with transfers. This is purely football. And I must admit, I've really enjoyed every single game I've watched of Spurs this season in the Premier League. Because I can't lie, the League Cup, that was an eyesore. That was a really painful performance. But the league performances, they've been really enjoyable, man. And today or yesterday or whichever day this is, right? The game against Burnley was no different. Was no different. I want to go straight into the starting 11s. For me, listen, Richarlison was dropped, Son was put central, and Solomon was put on the left. I think anyone who's been watching Spurs would be right in saying that that's been a long time coming. That's been a long time coming for a couple of reasons. One, because every single game Richarlison started for us in the league, he's looked really bad. He's been in the top three worst performers in every game we've had so far this season, even the game he scored in, right? And yeah, like I didn't actually think he'd be dropped this game. I was quite shocked. I was taken aback. I thought Andrew's going to keep him in the team because he scored his first goal and give him some confidence. Sorry, I have to drink a little hot um, a little hot concoction just to try and clear up this sore throat of mine. But I thought Andrew's gonna like play him while he's got the hot hand, but nah, he dropped him. He put Son central, and he gave Solomon his first Premier League start in a Spurs shirt. So I was calm with that, man. I was calm with that, and I feel like it proved to be the best selection in terms of the team chemistry, right? Because as I said, Richarlison has stuck out like a sore thumb in all of our previous three Premier League matches for the wrong reasons. So that was the only change. I felt every other part of the team picks itself when everyone's fit. Can't really complain. There's no one else in the team right now who I feel like who I feel can displace the starting 11 that are fit. Right, the only player that comes into the equation is Rodrigo Bentancur, because I think he's clearly a better midfielder than Pape Matar. But in the other roles, it's set. There's no one pushing Basuma. There's no one pushing Romero. There's no one pushing Van der Ven, and so on and so forth. Right? It is set. The first half now, for me, listen, I thought we were good in the first half, but not for the whole first half. I thought Burnley actually started off really well, and they took their goal really well. I felt like it was really good play from Burnley from back to front. We lost the ball high up their pitch. They played their way out of our counter press, and they were able to work the ball out from right to the left. Koleosho, he looked good. Even when they were down 3-1, 4-1, he looked lively whenever he got the ball. And I felt like he got the better of Pedro Porro for the first goal to put the ball into the box, and then Lau Foster tucks it away. So we're 1-0 down within 4 minutes. And if this was last season, I'd be panicking. I'd be saying this, that, and the third. But this season, you know what? I was calm. When we went 1-0 down in the group chat, it was like, it's disappointing. Yes. Could we have done better? Yes. But I was actually calm. I was really calm because I believed in the quality of the team, and I believed in what we were trying to do on the football pitch, right? So you're going to have the hiccups. You're going to have games where you concede. You're going to have games where you don't even win. But at this point in time, with the way we're playing, right, with the current starting 11 that we have, just the starting 11, I had full confidence that Spurs Spurs were going to get back into this game, which is why I didn't panic. And I felt like also as well, because of how Burnley were playing against us, it lended to us getting back into the game anyway, right? They're trying to play out from the back. They're trying to play an expansive game. They're trying to press us higher than Burnley sides of old would have pressed us. Do you get what I'm saying? They made it an open game. And I felt like if you're making this an open game, even if you're 1-0 up, the game is only going to suit Tottenham because let's be real, we have better players who can create more havoc with those spaces that you give us versus the spaces that we give you, right? It was a case of my guns versus your guns. If I have 5 guns, you have 2 guns, you're going to get shot. You're going to get shot to death. And that was the case today with Burnley. So, yeah, they went ahead 1-0. I thought that the counter press could have been better. I really didn't like our press for the first, I would say, 20 odd minutes of the first half. I felt like Burnley were getting a lot of joy in their build out from the back. And I felt that wasn't right. Like, we need to be a bit more aggressive because if we catch these guys out, we can turn over possession and we can fashion some chances. I watched highlights of them against Aston Villa, against Man City, and because of the way Vincent Kompany wants to play versus the caliber of players that they have relative to Premier League sides, they're not able to consistently play out from the back well enough. And eventually they always get caught out. They did it against Aston Villa and they did it a couple of times today against us, some culminating in goals. I think 2 goals actually. So yeah, I was calm and I felt like even though they went 1-0 up, the goal came, it took, I don't know, maybe like 10 minutes before we got the equalizer. Really good goal, really good goal. I feel like someone like Pedro Porro, that's what he's really good at. Great pass from inside his own half to find Son's run. Really good run from Son. Son takes the ball down, passes it to Solomon. Solomon comes on the inside, gives it back to Son, and Son, delightful finish. And that is where I want to see Son. I don't care about dribbling. I don't care about you dropping deep to collect the ball. That is where I want to see Son, right? When Son plays for Spurs, I need to see him as close to the goal as possible, whether it's on the edge of the area, whether it's inside the box, whether it's just outside the box, right? When we see Son out wide, it doesn't look nice because he just hasn't got the moves to beat players in isolation. He can't deal with 1v1s, let alone 2v1s, right? He just can't do it. That's not his MO. He, at this stage of his career, is purely a scorer. Every other part of his game is limited, but scoring inside the box, outside the box, with left foot, with right foot, devastating. And the finish for the equalizer, superb. Chef's kiss. You wouldn't think that was a guy that hadn't scored in his last 8 games for Spurs. You wouldn't. You actually wouldn't. So for me, I was really happy with that. Very happy with that. And I like that little contribution from Solomon. Obviously, Solomon finished today with 2 assists. That's good. That's what we want, right? Let's be real. Solomon is a role player for Spurs. He's a role player for Tottenham, right? So players like Solomon coming in and out of the team, if they can give us what he gave us today with the key passes, that's good. I don't think he had like a great game today. But he did some. Solomon's game was so weird today because he didn't play bad. He definitely made his mark on the game, but like there were so many times in the first half, especially where the ball would be played into him and he wouldn't take it well enough to drive at his opponent, or his decision making when he got the ball in good areas was really poor, really poor. Like some shoddy passes, but he still also made like 4 or 5 key passes today, with 2 ending up in assists for Son Heung-min. But just back on the first half, obviously we scored the first goal, and then on the stroke of halftime, just before halftime, we get the second goal. Fantastic strike from Romero, right? We take a set piece. The set piece gets blocked, but Maddison, typical best endeavors attitude, he tries to take the ball to the opposition, right? Gets the ball, approaching inside the box, chops the defender, and gets the ball to Kulusevski. Kulusevski obviously takes a shot, blah, blah, blah. You know, the rest is history. But what a strike from Christian Romero. What a start to the season for him. When you look at how he performed last year, it was a poor campaign for him. But when you look at how he started this year, not only just his goal scoring, because he's got 2 for the season now in 4 Premier League matches, but his ball playing out from the back, his defending, and his leadership as well. Like, what a strike. What a strike. You don't save those. Absolutely buried. Like Romero, he's got a point to prove this season, right? He had a fantastic first season for me at Spurs, but his second season was so poor by his standards. And when you think of the kind of player he is, you know that like last season you played well below your capacity. Like, you are a quality centre back. So play like one. And I felt like today he took his goal really well. But I just want to highlight the likes of James Maddison, who, oh God, we'll talk on Maddison later on. I don't even want to get into it now. I'm just going through the game state, right? I felt like the second goal was deserved. It was deserved because it came at a period where we were well on top in the game. We were creating opportunities. Even before that as well, I believe, actually, no, I think it was the second half, not the first half. I look at the first half statistics, right? First half statistics, we had 1 second, let me just get it up for you guys. Stats, first half statistics. We had 13 shots to their 4, 6 shots on target to their 1. We had 2 big chances created, 1 big chance missed. Yeah, man, we were all over them, right? 52% possession, right? 6 shots inside the box, 7 outside the box. Yeah, like I felt like we were dominating the game towards the closing stages of the first half, and we got the goal to put us in the lead that we actually deserved. Second half, I felt like we were able to consolidate on what we did well towards the latter stages of the first half. And I feel like there's so many different ways this team are finding opportunities to score now. I spoke earlier on at the start of the upload around Burnley's risk-taking in the Prem and how, with the way company wants to set up, that they're going to play out from the back. They want to try and draw teams onto them, but their play out from the back was shoddy at times. Like, at times it was good, but at times it was shoddy. And I felt like we were able to capitalize on that for the third goal. The third goal, you saw traits of what Ange Postecoglou wants in the Spurs side. You saw the fullback getting involved high up the pitch in Destiny Udogie, right? Pressing Burnley's wing back, who then turned over possession. Destiny comes infield, which is what Ange Postecoglou wants. The fullbacks tucked in, comes infield, gives it to James Maddison, and Maddison outside the box with a clear sight at goal. Listen, he's not missing those. Absolute driller. He had an effort in the first half. Really good play from him and Papi Matasar that was saved by Trafford, but there was no chance Trafford was going to save this one. And I just want to shine a spotlight on Maddison, right? I want to shine a spotlight on this guy because he's a magnificent footballer. He is a magnificent footballer, honestly. And anyone who's been watching my content, been rocking with me for time, knows how much I rate this guy. He is so good. And I have to repeat it again. 45 million for a player of his caliber. For me, that is looking like the best business any Premier League side will do this summer. In a world where Conor Gallagher is priced at 50 million, right? Brennan Johnson, who I hope will do well for Spurs, cost 47.5 million, right? Declan Rice cost 105 million. Do you get what I'm saying? Right? The prices are dear. The prices are dear. Cole Palmer cost as much as Maddison. I know he's 5 years younger, but he cost as much as Maddison. Do you get what I'm saying? Caicedo went for 115 million to Chelsea, right? Mason Mount went for 60 million to Man United, right? Szoboszlai went for 60 million to Liverpool. Spurs have signed a player who, in my opinion, is better than a lot of these names I've mentioned. Obviously, I've not really watched Szoboszlai in detail, so I'm not going to include him in my point, right? I only just mentioned it from a price perspective because they play in the same roles. But when you look at the value that we are getting for the money we spent, it is crazy. And I get it. It's only 4 games in the Prem. It's only 4 games in, but I'm speaking about a player who I've always spoken highly about, even when he was at Leicester. He was fantastic for Leicester last season, even with some of his spells of inconsistency. And he's been he's been top 3 Leicester players since he's been at the club. Since he's been at the club. Honestly, majestic player. For me, the only 10 in the league that I can say is pound for pound better than Maddison is Kevin De Bruyne. I think with Odegaard, it's a debate. I'm picking Maddison, but I don't think there's a lot in it. I wouldn't judge people if they said Odegaard's better than Maddison because I think Odegaard performed better than Maddison last season. However, I think Maddison as a 10 for me, just my preference, I'm taking him over Odegaard. And I've felt that for most of the time where I've sort of compared the two. And it's not just him. I already said to Flex weeks back, I think this guy's better than Bruno. And I don't even want to mention Mount because Bruno is actually a very good player. Odegaard is a quality player. I don't even want to mention Mount in these discussions because he can't hang with these players. But Maddison, supreme baller. And the thing about James Maddison is he's mashing his work across all phases of play. He's dropping deep near our own box, getting on the ball, twisting and turning players, and initiating attacks for Spurs. He's picking up the ball in between the lines in the second phase, and he's finding the wingers. He's finding the striker. He's picking up the ball in the third phase, and he's finding the striker, or he's making runs into the box to score, or he's receiving the ball at the edge of the area like he did today, and finding the bottom corner. The guy is showing that he's capable of doing everything. Like, I am not surprised by the impact because I knew the type of player we were getting. This is a guy who's been playing in this league since 2018. This is a guy who knows the Prem in and out. This is a guy who's filling a direct hole that Spurs have had in their team since Christian Eriksen declined and left the club, right? When you look at the remit of what James Maddison is being asked to do, this is his bread and butter. So that's why, for me, I'm not shocked by how good he's been for Tottenham because he played like this for Leicester, right? And in this role, he's going to thrive. He's the creative hub of our team. No Maddison, no Basuma, no Party, right? The guy is already that important for Spurs. Superb player. His dribbling, his ball carrying, his passing, his vision, first touch. Oh my God. Like Son scored a hat-trick today, right? Son scored a hat-trick today, but he is not my man of the match. I'm sorry. James Maddison was man of the match for me today. He ran that game. And mind you, this was a game where Basuma, who I felt had been our best midfielder up until today, really. Basuma he had flashes. He was okay today. He wasn't the Basuma that we saw in the first 3 games, sorry. But he was still good, right? He was good with issues. Sarr was good with issues, but I felt like Basuma and Sarr, they were coasting, right? They were coasting in the game, and that's cool when you got a player like Maddison, a proper jogger though. Do you get what I'm saying? Maddison was pulling the strings, bro, across all phases. Superb player, honestly. 45 million for James Maddison. That is the best signing I think anyone's going to make in this window when you look at how much he cost. Right, best signing for me. Anyway, moving on from the third goal, again, great work from Destiny. Good pressure. That kid just goes from strength to strength. And today was just a calm game for Destiny. Like, it's nuts. 4 games in, and he just casually drops these 7 out of 10 performances. And it's like, yeah, it's nuts. He didn't even need to be the best player on the pitch today, but he's just so solid defensively. I'm really shocked by how good this guy is defensively. Like, he's not giving anyone anything. He's given his opponents nothing at all, no change. And I really hope that this continues because he's doing that. And when he gets the ball at the top end of the pitch, he's so composed in dribbling, in receiving the ball under pressure, in protecting the ball, and knowing when to release the ball as well. He got his second assist today for James Maddison's third, and Solomon got his second assist of the game for Son's second goal, right? The 4th goal. Again, winning the ball high up the pitch. Good combination play between Destiny and Solomon, who then finds Son, and Son slots first time. Fantastic finish. That's what you get with Son. That is what you get with Son Heung-min. He didn't even need to take a touch. First time finish, bang, bang. That's what he excels at. And I love the fact that like there's all these combinations popping up all over our team, right? Today, listen, I like Richarlison as a person, but he's been awful. And you can see clearly that the feng shui of our team was on another level today with Richarlison out, absent. With Son playing in that 9 role, right? And a proper 1v1 winger on the left-hand side, and someone who isn't gonna basically fall to ground or just disrupt our moves like Richarlison's been doing since when he's been playing. You saw the team look a lot better, and we've looked good. We've looked good this season. Don't get it twisted. We've looked good even with Richarlison, but you've seen the team look better today, and we were able to score more goals as a result, right? If it's not Destiny and Solomon, it's Destiny and Son, or it's Perisic and Destiny, or it's Son and Destiny, or it's Maddison and Son, or it's Kulu and Maddison, right? Or it's Porro and Son, or it's Biss and Madders, or it's Sar and Biss. Like there's so many partnerships popping up. Like if this was FM or Ultimate Team, I'm already starting to see green lines develop. The chemistry of the first 11 that we play at the moment looks good. It really does. It looks good. All right. And even the fifth goal as well. The fifth goal is the prime example of why, as poor as Pedro Porro is defensively, he will always have a place in the XI for me over Emerson. Like, it doesn't. It's not to say that Emerson doesn't have his uses. I've spoken on this already. Emerson, he has his uses, and there will be games where Emerson needs to start over Pedro Porro, absolutely, right? But for the bulk of the games, this first choice right back for me, without question, has always been and should always be Pedro Porro. Because when we're trying to play football and play good football, we need the best ball players on the pitch. And without question, he is infinitely better in possession than Emerson. He takes more risks than Emerson. He's got more quality on the ball than Emerson, and his execution is much better than Emerson's. Look at the fifth goal today. Again, the team is playing with such confidence and freedom at the moment. Really well worked goal. Bearing in mind the move started from Pedro Porro. The move started from Pedro Porro, who then passed it to I think passed it to Basuma. Basuma then turned, passed it back to Romero. Romero, who then sprayed it out to Udogi, who passed it to Maddison, and then no, Udogi, who passed it to Solomon. Solomon then passed it back to Udogi. Udogi passed it to Maddison. Maddison does a 1-2 with, I can't even remember who it was. Was it Sar or was it Hoiby? I can't even remember who it was. But he did a 1-2. First phase of play. Sorry, a bit of ginger stuck in my mouth. Right? And he gives it to Porro. And Porro, bear in mind, Porro is in our half. Similar to the over-the-top ball he played in the first half. Porro is in our half, but this pass is even better. This pass he played is superb. Like, we're talking about KDB-esque pass. Now, I'm not saying he's a KDB-esque player or he has KDB-esque execution, but what I'm saying is this is a pass that if I saw KDB make, he'd get plaudits. If I saw Odegaard make, he'd get plaudits. If I saw Bruno make, he'd get plaudits. If I saw Trent make, he'd get plaudits. And notice I'm using some of the best through ball passers in the league as a comparison here, because that pass was superb. That is what you call a superb through ball that I would expect to see from one of those names that I've just mentioned now, or Maddison as well, right? Superb pass on the ground. He's seen the run of Son and he's played an inch perfect pass to evade the centre back that's closest to the ball around him and gets it right onto Son's run. Right, gets it right onto the path where Son can run onto the ball and score in between the two centre backs. That is expert execution. Expert run from Son Heung-min. This is a guy who's been around the block and his off the ball movement is elite, right? His off the ball movement and he's finishing, it's elite, and it has been elite for the last 5, 6, 7 years, right? But the pass, the pinpoint accuracy of the pass from Pedro Porro, that alone is the biggest indication yet of why he must be a starter in this side, irrespective of his drawbacks going the other way. He has to be a starter. He puts that ball in a sixpence. Emerson can't do that, respectfully, right? Pedro Porro can't defend like Emerson can. He won't win the ground duels or aerial duels like Emerson, but he will also find those runs that Emerson can't find. Fantastic pass, and Son, left foot, right foot, it don't matter, hat trick. And it capped off what was a fantastic afternoon for us. Of course, we conceded late on. We made a lot of changes. Richarlison came on, Højbjerg came on, Skip came on, Emerson came on. Who else came on? I can't remember. Perisic came on. Yeah. So we made 5 changes, right? And the team got a little bit sloppy. We still had like 1 or 2 moments, but the team got a little bit sloppy, as you would expect. And annoyingly, we gave them another goal. Like, I think Burnley were applying some pressure towards the closing stages of the game, and they got a goal. Very nice finish from Brownhill as well. Very nice finish. Would have liked that we should have kept it to a minimum, but listen, in a game where we scored 5, we've had what 21 attempts at goal. Let me even see the stats. Yeah. Um, 21 attempts at goal, 11 shots on target, 3 big chances created, 1 chance scored. Like, we scored 5 goals from 3 big chances created, which is a testament to the finishing of the likes of Son and Maddison. But yeah, people, man, very good performance. I feel like we as a Spurs fan base, we needed that, right? We needed that off the back of the disappointment in the deadline day, like last couple of hours, like the disappointment in not being able to move on enough deadwood players, the disappointment in not being able to sign that third centre back to give us relief where we need to take Romero out or take Van der Ven out, right? The disappointment of not being able to secure exits for the likes of Højbjerg to free up space for a new midfielder to come in. Do you get what I'm saying? The disappointment of maybe I feel like leaving ourselves short after selling Harry Kane up top. I know Brennan Johnson came in, and as I said, looks a decent player, but I wanted more. I wanted a better player than Brennan Johnson, right? I feel like we left ourselves short in the attack, right? Brennan Johnson comes in now, so essentially it's looking like it's going to be Son and Richarlison who are going to be fighting for the 9 roles, and Brennan Johnson will occupy either flank, most likely the right flank, because Solomon likes to play on the left, Perisic likes to play on the left. So yeah, man, we did some good things in the window. We really did, and we signed some really good players that you can see that have already made an impact on our team, like Mickey, who had another good game today, like Maddison, like Vicario. Do you get what I'm saying? But when you look at the lack of outgoings and you look at the gaps that still needed to be plugged in our squad, not the first 11, in our squad, yeah, man, we could have done better. But this was definitely the game. This was definitely the game to sort of at least end the week on a positive note, right? Those problems aren't just going to disappear. They're still there. We still know the gaps in the squad. They're still there. But as far as this weekend is concerned, that was a really good way to end the week and end the first round of fixtures for the Prem before the international break. So we're going to go into the international break now with Spurs being unbeaten in our opening 4 games, 10 points out of 12. I believe Ange Postecoglou has matched our best ever start to the season. So yeah, man, positive. It's very, very positive. Like, I have my negative thoughts on the ownership and the structure behind the scenes, but best believe I have uber positive thoughts on the manager and a lot of the players that we have. And we just have to hope that the latter can do the work and mash the work in spite of the former, as was the case with Pochettino. And you just have to hope and pray that in January, right? In January, no matter where the team are at, the club reinforce this squad. I'm seeing rumors of Davison Sanchez apparently close to agreeing an exit to Galatasaray, because obviously their transfer window don't close until the 15th of September, right? But we didn't sign a replacement centre back for Davinson Sanchez. So if we sell him now, the only centre backs that we'd have to call upon are Eric Dyer, Ashley Phillips, and then Ben Davies as a left-sided centre back option. We already know the manager doesn't rate Eric Dyer. Eric Dyer hasn't made any of the matchday squads, not even the cup squad. He's firmly not on the manager's plan. So it's looking like we're going to probably rely upon Ashley Phillips or Ben Davies at centre back if Davinson Sanchez is meant to leave, which screams poor planning, poor organisation. Why wasn't this sorted out sooner? Why didn't Spurs bring in another centre back? Do you get? It's so easy to rest on our laurels. It's so easy to rest on the positives right now, right? But that's what has killed Spurs in the past. And I'm not resting. I'm enjoying these results. I'm enjoying the football, but I'm also acknowledging that it can just go away like that off the back of 1, 2, 3 injuries. Maddison isn't a stranger to picking up injuries. Romero isn't a stranger to picking up injuries. Basuma, he can pick up a couple niggles here and there. But anyway, I'm going to end this on a positive note and not bring the mood down, right? Spurs are playing some sexy ball. Ange Postecoglou, I thought he did well today with the lineup. And listen, he's had a really good start to his Spurs career. I know he had the disappointing cup exit, but as far as the Premier League is concerned, he's doing everything right so far. And long may it continue. I hope that he can get the best out of the likes of Brennan Johnson. I hope that he can help mask some of our fringe players' deficiencies in his system, right? Because he's already exhibiting signs of a guy who is coaching these players. But we'll see, man. Anyway, people, that's it for me. I hope you enjoy your weeks or days or whenever it is you're watching this. Make sure you smash this like. Make sure you smash a like on this video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you turn your post notifications on. Make sure you get involved in the comments. I want to get your thoughts. What did you think of Burnley? How did you think the window ended? What did you think of Son in the central forward role? What did you think of Solomon playing left wing? How high do you rate Maddison? What do you think of the centre back partnership? Let me know. I respond to all the comments. So fire them away and I will respond to them. But people, thanks for tuning in. Take care. Peace out. And Enoch out. Up Spurs.